Just before noon, and Piccadilly Gardens has something of a festival atmosphere. The first of around 1,000 Unite Against Fascism supporters coming together to say that members of the English Defence League who oppose militant Islam aren't welcome in Manchester.
People are fine to express their opinions. However, in a multicultural society, you're not allowed to march through Asian areas or multicultural cities such as Manchester and stoke up hatred, religious hatred, racial hatred. This is unacceptable in modern society.
Midday, and EDL supporters appear outside a pub. Within moments, just some of the 500 police on duty are there to separate the two groups.
Well, it's only around 12:30 in the afternoon and the atmosphere is already very confrontational. Behind me, members of the English Defence League with banners that say things like "No more mosques in England." And over here, members of Unite Against Fascism.
Police respond by surrounding members of the EDL and guiding them through the back streets of Piccadilly, keeping them contained and separate from rival protesters.
I'm sick of everyone taking over England. This is our country. We want it back.
When you say ours, who do you mean?
English people. This is our country.
Back from who?
Come on, have a word with yourself.
1 o'clock and a solid police wall is created right down the middle of Piccadilly Gardens. For the next 2 hours, the two groups are successfully held in two separate areas.
Well, it's just coming up to 3 o'clock and both of the groups have been contained within Piccadilly Gardens, but the police have said that the gardens are on lockdown. Now that means that nobody's allowed in, but the EDL march doesn't start until 5 o'clock, and so their members are still arriving at Piccadilly Station, and the fact that they can't get in has meant there's been trouble on the outskirts of Piccadilly.
Get back! Clear the area! Leave the area now!
But any violence is dealt with quickly and efficiently. Groups of Defence League members are gathered together and guided to their allocated area. 5 o'clock, and the police decide it's time to try and disperse the crowds. The EDL is escorted past the Arndale Centre towards Victoria, where some take the train home, and most of the rest are put on pre-arranged buses to take them back to Piccadilly. And by this time, the UAF have largely dispersed. Out of 2,000 protesters, there were 48 arrests, mostly for public order offences, and 13 people needing hospital treatment for minor injuries. Despite criticism that the operation will have cost the taxpayer around £800,000, and while there certainly were some ugly scenes, the tense atmosphere could have broken into something much more serious.
Our ambition was to allow peaceful protest, and broadly that's taken place, and I think that's what people have to remember. We're trying to allow this to happen, which is one of the joys of British democracy, on a busy Saturday afternoon in the heart of the city, and there are going to be times where people get crushed and pushed around because of the nature of this type of protest, but we've been able to let that happen without anyone getting seriously injured, and as I say, let the rest of people on a busy Saturday afternoon go about shopping or leisure. And I'd like to pay tribute to our staff who behaved so well in the circumstances.
Nina Warhurst, Channel M Today.